Let's take a look at Magh Aidhir, the inauguration site located between the villages of Quinn and Tulla. This is where, more than 1,000 years ago, Brian Boru and various other kings of Thomond at the time were inaugurated. There's a photograph of the mound taken in about 1900 by Westhrop, and there's the other photograph of the standing stone. There's a more recent photo of the standing stone, which is a short distance to the southwest of the mound, and the basin stone or Bullan stone, which stands a short distance to the north of the mound. There's a site drawing with the road running along the bottom of the image and the river running diagonally. There's the satellite image, the mound, river, and the standing stone to the west. We'll take a look at how Magh Aidhir is located relative to other historic sites and some not so historic sites. If we turn the alignments on here on the graphic, we can see that Magh Aidhir was very much at the centre of a lot of things. For example, way to the north in Ardrahan, there was a very old round tower. If we take a line from that location to Napog Castle, we find that that line runs through the middle of Magh Aidhir. That's the north-south red line on this graphic. Next, if we take a line from the site of the round tower at Tuamgraney to Killowen Abbey, just west of Ennis, another very old monastic site, that line runs through the middle of Magh Aidhir. That's the diagonal red line on this next graphic. Next, we'll go to the Burren, to Corcomroe Abbey. We'll take a line from there to the large stone monument in Kilmurray Cemetery. We find that that line passes through the middle of Magh Aidhir. That's the diagonal red line in this image. There's an overview of Kilmurray Cemetery. The original walls comprise a 5-sided polygon. Each of the 5 sides align with significant local historic sites. Now there's a similar shorter local alignment whereby a line goes through Magh Aidhir. That one goes from a ring fort in Newgrove to the gate tower at Napog Castle. That's a lot of very old stuff so far. Let's come forward now to the 17th century and Newhall House, Ballier. If we look at it from overhead, the green line is the line along which everything was built. We follow that line, it goes to the centre of Magh Aidhir. And in getting there, it goes right over the top of the standing stone. Now, Newhall House wasn't the only place where they factored Magh Aidhir into their layout. They did this at Buncraggy House nearby also. If we take a line from Magh Aidhir to the Round Tower on Scattery Island and go back to Buncraggy and see what it does there, we'll see that there's a large walled area there which is built on this line. We'll be taking a more in-depth look at Buncraggy some other time, but every field there aligns to a historic site. For example, if from Buncraggy we take a line at 90 degrees away from this line, we go to a very interesting building in Aidhir. Now, next is Clooney House nearby. It's only a couple of kilometres away from Magh Aidhir. And here's an overview of the walled garden at Clooney House. Now, that's a couple of acres of walled garden. And the 2 yellow lines in this image extend away from the north and south sides of the garden. If we follow the 2 yellow lines to Magh Aidhir, we find that one of them hits the centre of the mound, the other one hits the standing stone. As we've seen from other sites, all these walled gardens align with a round tower or an energy location of some other kind. Before we go away from Clooney House, let's have a look at these 2 field boundaries which align very precisely with Magh Aidhir. Now, in isolation, this might not mean much, but every other field boundary at Clooney House aligns with a ring fort or another site in the region. This next one is local as well. The line goes to a ring fort approximately a kilometre away and continues to a central point in the walled garden at Moyrisk House. Here's the alignment through the centre of the ring fort, and there's an overview of the walled garden at Moyrisk House. This walled garden is an alignment or mapping reference for a lot of stuff that's built around Quin, and if we take the central line through that garden, then that goes directly to the front door of Clooney House. We've got two more to look at. Here's the gate lodge at Fenlow House near Newmarket and Fergus. Looking along the ridge tile there, we see it's aimed at the centre of Magh Aidhir. Finally, if we take a line from Magh Aidhir to the east, 10 kilometres or so, we reach a ring fort near O'Callaghan's Mills, and we go through the centre of 3 others along the way. If we follow the line going east, there's the first one, there's the second one, there's the third one, and there's number 4 at O'Callaghan's Mills. Now, 1 would obviously be random, 2 would be a coincidence, 3 would be unlikely, and 4 suggests a plan or a structure of some sort. That's the list of significant alignments. There are individual fields in the neighbourhood which were obviously built to align here as well. We don't need to go through all those. But we're left with the question, why was Magh Aidhir at the centre of so much? Thank you.